Hydrogeology of NER. Uh, uh, I'm going to take the topic on hydrogeology of northeastern states. I won't take much time. I'll just give a brief overview. This is a photo of actually Lohit River taken from Walong, जहाँ से एंट्री होता है इंडिया पॉइंट में. बाकी हाइड्रोजन आप लोगों को बता दिया है. So northeastern regions, the main drainages are, you can call it Brahmaputra River, Meghna River. So in some areas, despite some areas acquired of drinking water, and mostly in northeastern, so you can see 70% of total area is hilly area. So these are the distribution of hills and plains. You can see valley area. You can see mostly for a grounder component, we consider valley area. In Arunachal, you can see the valley area is 8.9, Assam 72.60, Manipur 8.9, Meghalaya 15.6, Mizoram is very 1.07 valley area. Because for the recharge of the rainfall greater than 20%, means hilly slope, if it is more than 20% hilly slope, we don't consider it for the rainfall because it flows to the surface gradient. So Tripura is 58.02% valley area and Nagaland is 4.86. So distribution of valley area in entire north is around 30.21 percentage, and rest of the 70s, rest of the areas like 70% area is a hilly area. So geologically, if you see the geological formation, Precambrian means you can see the Meghalaya Plateau or the Karbi Anglong Mikir Hills. Those are the Precambrian area. So Precambrian is recent. The recent Brahmaputra alluvial plain is a recent area. So 5 major geotechnic divisions: shield area, platform, shelf, mobile band, 4 depths. These are geological formation. I won't go much deep into it. So hydrological setup mainly I have sold for porous formation. We have unconsolidated formation, semi-consolidated, featured consolidated formation. Those in hard rock area you can find fractures and all secondary. These are called consolidated formations. So this is a map of the hydrological map of northeastern area. So we have mostly groundwater monitoring setup is there. So we have stations mainly to get hydrological information. Water level, we have groundwater monitoring station. So four times in a year we do the survey, and plus we have the digital water well recorder. It gives around 94 digital water recorders a day in entire northeast. So it gives water level 4 times a day. So these are the groundwater monitoring stations in entire northeast. We have a total of around 645 monitoring stations in the entire northeast. So for the state of Arunachal Pradesh, hydrographic units are only unconsolidated. This is quaternary sediments of valley area and semi-consolidated tertiary groups of the rocks, and consolidated high and moderate hill ranges. Moderate hill ranges in the Bomdila formation, those are consolidated ranges. And on quaternary and sediments area, valley fill area, those are in the Shivaliks, near to Shivaliks area. In unconsolidated alluvial sediments, we get terrace and alluvial fan deposits are there. Means as you can see, in near the hills, you can see fan type of deposits. Sometimes if you go through the field, then you can observe those terraces. You can observe, and terraces means once if you travel through Kaziranga area, you can see certain gradient slopes are there. These are all types of terraces. So these are the terrace and alluvial fan deposits there. So mainly the forms the main hydrological unit for groundwater. So low yield gives a moderate to low yield. It's 30 to 50 meter cube per hour based on this thing. And the drawdown means after pumping, the drawdown you can see is 10 to 15 meter. In the semi-consolidated, mainly there are shales, siltstone, sandstone, interpreted coal seams and limestone. And mostly it behaves as a runoff and infiltration discharge zone. So it's a very low yield, around 20, have a low yield ranging of 20 meter cube for drawdown of around 25 meter. And consolidation are the crystalline and meta sediments. Those in Bomdila formations and all those things. Those are crystalline meta sediments. So groundwater, as I've told, is mostly present in the secondary porosity, means in the fractures and all. So you can see the feature from the low yield 5 to 15 meter cube per hour, and meta sediments is 5 meter cube per may go up to 20 to 25, depending on the depending how the fracture is. If the so groundwater is manifest springs, mostly the springs are the main source. This is a hydrogeological map of the Arunachal Pradesh. As you can see, near to this is Assam border, these are unconsolidated formations, and mostly crystalline, the consolidated formations. The rest of the portions are consolidated formations are there. So, and the groundwater sediments both are suitable for drinking and industrial purpose. No measure has been found till now. But excess of iron content is found in some part of the states. Now, if you come to Assam, in Assam, the hydrogeological units are mostly the unconsolidated from the Brahmaputra and the Barak Valley. And semi-concentrated formation you can find mostly in the Kasar, Karbi Anglong, and parts of Upper Assam. And consolidated formation in Karbi Anglong, as you can see, the Mikir Hills and Kamrup and parts of Western Assam, Goalpara, Bongaigaon, some of the areas you can find. So, in Ankoda, more than 72% of the state is undermined by recent or older alluvium. There's a Brahmaputra Valley area and a Barak Valley area. This is 72%. These are the very productive zones you can see. So, occurs in mainly confined, as I've seen, confined to unconfined formation. Aquifers you can find in confined and unconfined formations. And there are aquifers are variable in thickness, means thickness in some regions you can see fairly thick and regionally extensive, confined to unconfined, explode up to depth of 300 meter. And alluvial plains and low level plains of Brahmaputra, the yield prospect is very high. You can see 150 to 200 meter cube per hour for drawdown of means 8 meter. Moderately thick but discontinuous, confined and unconfined aquifers. South bank, this is around the south bank you can find discontinuous, confined and unconfined around the south bank of Brahmaputra. And yield prospect you can find 150 meter cube per hour, drawdown 6 meter. So groundwater basins were thick but discontinuous, confined to semi-confined. In the Barak Valley, you can see the prospect is around 30 to 100 meter cube per hour for drawdown of 20 meter. But in semi-consolidated, it is thick but confined to semi-confined occurs mainly in southern part of Tinsukia, Dibrugarh and eastern Sibsagar. So there the yield prospect is around 80 to 120 meter cube per hour for drawdown of 12 meter. So, and these are this semi-continental restricted lenticular aquifers, mainly area in the fringes of the Shillong Plateaus, in fringe area. Karbi Anglong and Naga Patkarins, mostly in Golaghat, in those bordering in the Nagalands, you can find these areas. So, yield prospect is around 50 meter cube per hour, drawdown around 20 meter cube. So, consolidated you can find here in Mikir Hills, Kamrup, Goalpara and all those areas. Granite and niches of Precambrian is groundwater restricted depth of 50 meter and weathered or the valley portion or where the and there you can find the fractures having the secondary process. Yield prospect is 3 to 5 meter cube per hour. So this is a hydrological setup of Assam. As you can see, this blue portion, this is mostly the Brahmaputra Valley and the Barak Valley. This portion, there's unconsolidated formations are there, and in the southern part, you can find in NC Hills regions and all these semi-consolidated formations, and in Mikir Hills, this is a part of the Goalpara and all. You can find a basal crystalline formation, consolidated formation. So quality of groundwater is potable. So iron content is there, is 0.35. Means occurrence of fluoride has been detected in Karbi Anglong, Kamrup and Nagaon district, and arsenic has been detected in Dhemaji and Majuli district in Jharkhand. Now in Manipur, so Manipur is occupied mostly by north-south ranging parallel hill ranges of semi-consolidated, consolidated and semi-consolidated rocks. So rocks are of pre-Mesozoic or Miocene, but unconsolidated deposits of quaternary occupy almost the entire foothills and valley areas. You can find the unconsolidated, mainly in the Manipur Valley. So aquifer thickness along the Imphal Valley is around ranges of 10 to 20 meter. And the piezometric heads so around 2.5 to 4 meter. And semi-consolidated formation comprises of shale is there, siltstone, sandstones are there. So Disang, Baral and Tipam and Surma group, these are the geological groups are there, Agonic formations. So groundwater occurs in confined, under confined and unconfined confined condition. And in consolidated means hard rock areas, as I told, this is found along the eastern part of the state, along the Myanmar border. So the eastern and northern are feasible for development groundwater. So shallow to moderate well, around 10 to 30 meter cumulative thickness. In the western part, shallow tubers of 25 to 60 meter considered feasible, discharge of 50 to 20 meter cube per hour. This is the hydrogeological map of Manipur. Uh, as you can see, only in the valley area you can find the alluvium, mostly in the valley area. And rest of the formations are, these are around the Nagaland. You can consider along the Myanmar border, you can find the metamorphic consolidated formation. Rest are the Disang, Baral, and Surma formations are there. So groundwater quality, if you come to groundwater quality, recent survey indicate localized contamination there, arsenic and iron in parts of Thobal and Bishnupur district. So in Meghalaya, now coming to Meghalaya, the unconsolidated formation of found on thin vein along the rivulets and the valley fields. In the valley field, thick and continuous along the western, northern, southern fringe of the state. So depth to water level you can find 3 to 5 and yield is around 30 to 100 meter cube per hour. So in semi-consolidated formations, you can see thick continuous aquifer and come down to 250 meter in West Garo Hills, semi-consolidated formation. So occurs in semi-confined to semi-confined, depth to water level 4 to 9 and yield is 25 to 50 meter cube per hour. And mostly in this aquifer in cavernous limestone and sandstone area. So it occurs under semi-confined to confined, depth to water 2 to 4 and yield is 5 to 15. And this continuous aquifer semi-confined sandstone area also you can see it occurs in confined to semi-confined, depth to 3 to 5, yield is 5 to 15 meter cube per hour. And in consolidated formations, the aquifers are weathered and fractures down to 150 meter. Depth to water level is 7 to 17 and yield is around 20 to 10 meter cube per hour. So this is a hydrological map of Meghalaya. So you see mostly this meta sediment basal gneissic complex are there, and this unconsolidated recent alluvium is a thin veneer along the fringes. So water quality wise, indicator suitable for drinking. Excess of iron content, this is normal. You can find in some areas. No major. And in Mizoram also, hydrological rock can be grouped into unconsolidated formation, that is alluvium, and semi-consolidated, where secondary process is deployed. Since the state has a hilly terrain, most because you can see the valley is only 1%. Since the state has a hilly terrain, most of the rainwater flows out of the surface runoff. And the groundwater is limited to only secondary processes along the higher elevation and aquifer. So groundwater stored in hill slope emanates in the form mainly spring sources are there. So exploration has been done by CWB within the depth range 200 tapping tertiary tension ranging 100 to 30 liter per minute. Drawdown of 13 to 20 meter. So this is the hydrological map of Mizoram. So quality wise, slightly alkaline. The spring samples have been analyzed, slightly alkaline, and generally water is potable for drinking and domestic purpose. So now coming to Nagaland. Nagaland, this is a concerned narrow strip of hills running from east to west. Mostly unconsolidated alluvium occupy the northern parts on the valley area in Dimapur. The consolidated formation are confined to the southern eastern part along the Myanmar border, and groundwater in deeper level found occur semi-confined to confined condition. So groundwater develop potentially in valley fields, mostly in Dimapur area. Consider open with 15 to 290 meter depth. The yield is around 10 meter cube to 45 meter cube per hour, drawdown 5 meter. So in the valley is underlain by Tipam sandstone around good aquifers. There is around 30 to 80 meter cube per hour. So in consolidated zones, abstraction structure by consider structurally weak zone means along the aquifer, along the fracture zones. So this is the hydrological map of Nagaland. As you can see, so the valley alluvium is very meager thick along the valley portions here, Dimapur area, those areas. Bordering Assam, only those areas, but rest of the areas underlain by sandstone. So quality wise, it is good for drinking and other purpose. And in valley area, iron content has been found to be beyond the permissible limit. And if you come into Tripura, it is underlain by tertiary to recent age formation. So 3 to 4 major aquifers have been encountered within the depth of 250 meters. And the Tipam group of sandstone in aquifer, medium to fine grain semi-consolidated friable sandstone forms the major aquifer. So their thickness varies from valley to valley and decrease considerably in northern valley. So groundwater occurs in unconfined in the consolidated and semi-consolidated formation. At a consolidated, it is occur under confined conditions. So autoflow artesian or surface soil you can find in where thick clay beds underline overlie the saturated granular zones. So this is depth to water level is around 2 to 9 in pre-monsoon, post-monsoon 1 to 7 meter cube. So quality wise, the result is a good water in all parts of the state as for domestic use. However, iron content is found to be high in some parts beyond the permissible limit. Thank you.